DIY rain barrel and stand for $50. I found this design on the website justmeasuringup.com. I've included the link below and detailed any of the changes I've made. Materials needed: 2 2-foot 2x4s, 4 1-foot 4x4s, 8 2-foot 2x6s, 1 brass rain barrel spigot, 1 1¼ inch hole saw, waterproof tape, bungee cords, screen material, elastic garbage can. I began by drilling 8 holes into the garbage can lid. This was my first time using a hole saw, and I had some issues with the plastic holes getting stuck inside the hole saw. I'm not sure if this would have resolved itself on its own, but I kept removing the plastic pieces each time. Some of the holes were more slapdash than others, but I tried my best to cut off any significant bits of extra plastic before adding the screen. Then I covered the holes with 2 layers of the screen material in a crisscross pattern and taped it to the top of the lid. Remember, the top of the lid will be the side that goes into the barrel. As usual, at least for me, this seemingly simple step took way longer than expected due to the multi-level design on the lid. I most definitely over-taped, but this is what it looked like when I was finished. Next, I drilled an overflow hole, and this is where I made a slight mistake. I was very focused on ensuring the hole would be lower than the top of the lid when in the inverted position because I didn't want the tape on the screen to be sitting in water. I was so focused on the height of the hole that I completely forgot about placement. Ultimately, it ended up on the back and is fine, but it's worth noting to focus on height and placement. And of course, I covered the overflow hole with a crisscross screen as well. This is what it looked like when finished. Next, I drilled the hole for the valve spigot. I made sure to spend extra time cleaning off the residual bits of plastic to ensure a good seal of the spigot to the barrel. I got the valve spigot off of Amazon. I included the link below, and it came with all the pieces necessary for a secure fit and had user-friendly instructions. Basically, the spigot is 3 pieces. You've got the inside part of the bulkhead fitting, and you secure that to the barrel with the bulkhead fitting nut, and I did use the optional hard plastic washer on the outside before attaching the bulkhead fitting nut and tightening with a pipe wrench. Then I wrapped the spigot threads with Teflon tape and screwed into the bulkhead fitting and tightened with a pipe wrench. Once the spigot was tightly installed, I filled the barrel with enough water to cover the spigot to make sure that there were no leaks. And fortunately, there was not a leak in sight, so I moved on to building the stand. I cut the wood to size the day before, so all I had to do was assemble per the instructions. Plus, I was able to repurpose all of the wood from my recently disassembled front porch. It's a straightforward design where the 2x6s are attached to the 4x4s, creating the base. The 2x4s are attached to the 4x4s, and then the remaining 2x6s are connected to the 2x4s to make the top. The finished stand is extremely sturdy and quite heavy. I gave it a couple coats of paint and it was ready to go. To attach the lid to the barrel, I drilled 8 holes in the edge of the lid and the lip of the barrel. I stitched a long shoelace through the holes and tied the shoelace to the handle on each side. I then repeated that on the other side. I then secured the barrel to the stand by connecting one end of the bungee cord to the barrel handle and the other end to the stand using screw hooks. But you can just as easily use a nail or a screw. And this is the finished rain barrel. Now it was time to attach it to the downspout. This is where I made another mistake. I had a spot ready for the rain barrel next to the existing downspout setup consisting of a brick and paver tower to route the water into the previous rain garden. After attaching the downspout to the rain barrel, I realized it was way too long a span. It was only at this moment that I realized I no longer needed the precarious tower of bricks and pavers and could move the rain barrel into that location. This was a painful mistake because I had to move the very heavy stand many times to get it situated correctly. Once I finally got it situated under the downspout, I added some rocks into the water basin to help hold the downspout. I also attached the downspout to the barrel using a mini bungee cord, and this worked brilliantly. The downspout feels very secure. The rain barrel has already been through multiple heavy wind and rains and has performed beautifully. I'm pleased with the results, and it wasn't difficult to build. Also, since I made it, I know exactly how to maintain it if anything goes wrong. I've included more details and all of the links in the description below.